Watch this.
How about I get you what you fucking deserve?
That's life.
Sometimes my genius it's almost frightening.
You know, there are movies where the more you think about it, the better it gets. With Joker 2, the reverse is true. The more you think about it, the worse it gets. To the point that, in my opinion, Joker 2 has one of the worst endings of all time, if not the worst. Now, is Joker 2 the worst movie of all time? Absolutely not. I think the movie was actually okay up to a certain point. I understand why people didn't like it. The songs don't make sense, they interrupt the story, the plot doesn't move much. We already know many of the things the movie tries to say from Joker 1, so what's the point of it? I get it all. But as someone who appreciates cinema, I could see that Todd Phillips, the director, wanted to do something new and different. I was relatively engaged. It wasn't a good movie, it was an average one until the end, which turned it into one of the worst movies of 2024. That ending completely ruined it. The shot where the camera pans and zooms in on Joker, if you can even call him the Joker, because he's really just Arthur Fleck at this point, and there's a character in the background carving his face, implying now he's the Joker. I've seen some pretentious crap in my time, but this takes the cake. This absolutely takes the cake. I couldn't believe how delusional and pretentious the creators were, thinking they were so smart. If the ending of Joker 2 had landed, if it had been convincing or engaging, people wouldn't hate this movie as much. The ending left such a bad taste in everyone's mouth. It was so bitter in the worst possible way. I've seen depressing movies, but nothing like this. This was unsatisfactory. It's an insult, not only to the Joker character, but also to the audience. It insults anyone who liked Joker, and even those who did not. It's an insult to anyone who likes movies. It's an insult to anyone who wants to enjoy art. It's just a group of filmmakers trying to feel good about themselves. This movie had a budget of $200 million, but it could have been made for $20 million. I'm not even kidding. Remove the ridiculous dance sequences and there's nothing in this movie, absolutely nothing. It feels like the studios pushed Todd Phillips to make this movie and he wasn't interested. It's like he said, fine, I'll make this movie for you, but I'll make the movie no one wants to see. I'll make the movie the audience doesn't want. I'll add artistic flair, great cinematography, amazing production design, good acting, and even decent editing, but I'll completely ruin the script. If you approach a movie with that kind of intention, again, I'm exaggerating here. I'm sure Todd Phillips is a good guy who doesn't hate the audience, but that's what this movie feels like. That's what the end product feels like. I guess the point of the movie was to show how random life is, how anyone can do crazy stuff and claim to be the Joker. But that's an insult to the Joker character and, like I said, to the audience as well. Some might say, that's life, everything is random, but you're making a movie, not showing us a random documentary. You're not presenting some random event that just happened. You have to make it convincing, you have to make your drama compelling. If you want some random guy to kill the main character we've followed for 2 movies, at least give him some layers, some character development, have him do something meaningful in the movie. I get it. I get the point that random stuff happens. Again, that's probably the statement Phillips wanted to make. Maybe he wanted to retcon his first movie, saying you can't create a villain's origin story and justify everything. But when you're diving into the head of a villain, the story should be convincing. At the very least, it should be engrossing and engaging. That's the goal of a filmmaker, not to prove how artsy or creative you are or how much you know more than the audience. I loved Joker, the first one, because it worked as a story. It had a narrative. There was character exploration and the protagonist wasn't stupid. He was respected as a character and we understood why he was doing what he was doing. Clearly he wasn't a regular guy. He was a lunatic who did weird stuff and had serious issues. We got that, but we didn't feel like he was being played with. He had a presence and that's what a protagonist needs. In Joker 2, the protagonist feels like a total loser, someone who can be easily manipulated. What happens most of the time in the movie? Harley Quinn, played by Lady Gaga, tells him to do stuff and he just obeys her. To some extent, it makes sense, like he's in love with her and he has had little female interaction throughout his life. But it's not an interesting story. That's the issue. If you had to tell the story of Joker 2, you could have picked a much more interesting angle than the one they choose. And even if you went with this story, the ending should have tied everything together. It should have been much better. Enough about me ranting on Joker 2 and how bad the ending was. If the script had more substance, if the ending wasn't so ridiculous, This could have been a good movie. It was a good idea. Not great, but at least good. I see the vision, but it's pretentious in the worst possible way. If you like this video, please do like and subscribe, and many thanks for watching.